After d4, d5 and bishop to g5, if you manage to watch this video until the end, then you are going to equip with a lifetime solution to meet this tricky Psuedo Trompowsky line in less than 20 minutes. Here my recommendation is very special f6, immediately attacking this bishop, and white has two good choices. Well, apart from this, if the bishop goes to somewhere else, let's say bishop to d2, then after e5, not only black get a wonderful center, but a very easy place play, and this will completely equalize the game at the opening stage. So nope, that's not a good idea, and accordingly the top choice is bishop to h4, whereupon we are going to surprise white with this very rare but super tactical move, knight to h6, where black planning of campaign is straightforward. You want to play knight to f5 and nab the bishop pair. Okay, as per the database, white has two major choices, and amongst them e3 has been exclusively played here. But after knight to f5, it doesn't matter however white continue. Let's say bishop to g3 is a top choice. We can simply respond with h5 and would you believe this position is almost close to losing. Well, as I have shown by the arrows, white has three major choices, but neither of them are working here. Number 1, bishop to d3, database top choice, immediately fails with the move h4. And that poor bishop is almost trapped here, because if he continue with bishop to f4, then this is a blunder, guys, as after g5, black is winning the piece at just 7th move of the game, as the counterattack g4 doesn't work here due to some simple knight retrieving move, so that after bishop to g6, knight to f7, yes indeed, black is winning the piece. White can take this dangerous knight, but the more or less problem remains same after bishop takes f5, as after bishop to f4 and g5, that bishop has been trapped down, and the only way to escape from this mess is to play e4, a counterattack. But black can simply take this pawn, and after some obvious sequence, f3, bishop to f5 and bishop to e3, if you carefully count the material, yup, indeed, black has come out as a pawn advantage. And the most surprising part is, if you look at the engine evolution here, it says it's close to completely winning for the black. Third dangerous tactical move white can try over here is queen to g4, not only attacking this knight twice, but there is a threat of queen to g6. And at first sight looks very scary, except black has this nice tactical shot, and that is knight to d6, where we are attacking the queen, and the big time point is after queen check and knight to f7, that bishop has only one square to go, and after that, what else? This nice winning shot. Did you find it? Congratulations if you see the move e5. What a move! Well, you may say hang on, but that just drops the pawn, because after pawn takes and pawn takes, white can simply take on e5 as the knight on f7 is pinned. Yes, but here is the point. You play rook to h6 and now forget about the piece. White queen is a complete goner. Okay, let's check out what we are going to do against the move bishop to e2. Well, yep, the same story. You push the pawn, and white's main idea is he wants to give this check, and when our king gets misplaced, now he has a choice how to save the bishop. Number one, if he played the move bishop to f4, which is in fact a bad move, as after g5, that bishop has been trapped down, and again to escape this he has to play e4, where black is more than happy to take this pawn, so that after bishop to d2 and the move c6, our king will be remain very safe on the c7, and the matter of fact is, black is emerged with a clear pawn advantage and a dominating position. How about bishop to g6, which looks more natural? First of all, you are hitting the knight. You stopping black to play the move g6. And for a moment it looks so good, except one problem, that black can straight away capture this piece, allowing white to gain his piece back. But after e6, bishop to h3, pawn takes f2, king takes f2 and the move c6. Yes, both the king has been misplaced, but I think it is black king who is more safer than white. Along with the bishop pair, black get this open h file, which sums up a great advantage to the black. Last, probably the easiest move is h3, as after this the sequence is very obvious. First you take this bishop, destroy the white pawn structure, and now you attack this loose pawn with queen to d6. Well, white can already go wrong here if he play the move queen to f3, as this simply allows this wonderful check and white lose some big material on the queen side. So that is right out of the equation. I don't like the move knight to e2 because it's completely jam up the white king side. So by far the top choice is to play king to f2, defending these pawns. But black is more than happy as he continue with e5, and with the space in the center and misplaced king, it is black who get a completely great position out of the opening stage. The second most popular choice is to play f3, and against this, my recommendation is very simple. You play c5, and if your opponent continue with moves such as e3 or c3, then as I have highlighted by the arrows, black has a wonderful plan, including hitting in the center. So the correct choice is to capture this pawn. But after this, I recommend this straightforward approach. You play e6, attacking this pawn, and after bishop to f2, knight to a6 confirms black opening advantage. After some obvious sequence e4 and bishop takes c5, white can already go wrong here if he take on a6, because black can first take on f2, and the point is after king takes and queen to b6, we don't have to take with the pawn, but we will take back with the queen. So that's a bad choice, and accordingly here white should play bishop takes c5, but after knight takes e5, pawn takes d5. If you don't want to take too much risk, I strongly insist you to capture this pawn back. However, if you like me, who want an attacking position, then queen to b6 is a fitting reply. The point is you are hitting on b2, and after b3, now black can take on d5, and if allowed, we'll play the move bishop to e6 and castle either side. But the big question comes, what happens if white take this pawn? Well, this is what I like about this gambit line. We continue with bishop to e6, and after queen to d1 and castle. Just look at the white pieces. They are all sleeping and black is fully developed. Not so surprising, look at the engine evaluation. It says white should pack his bag and go home. The second most popular choice here is to play bishop to f4. But this is just a tempo up London system version where black get this f6 move free of charge. And the way black should take the initiative is play the move c5. Of course, you can't take this pawn because after e5, bishop to g3 and bishop takes c5, Black get wonderful center and very easy play. So that is right out of the equation. Most of your opponent will bolster this pawn structure with either the move e3 or c3. Let's say e3 is top choice. And against this, you just continue to pressurize the center with knight to c6. Threat is e5, so white needs to prevent it. But exactly here, I'm going to recommend this very aggressive setup, and that start with g5, hitting this bishop, bishop g3, and no prize for guessing next move. Yup, h5. And you know what? We can already set up a small trap if white foolishly continue with h4, as after g4, the d pawn is a complete goner. For example, if we play a knight to d2, then we can simply take on d4 twice and become a pawn up. So that is right out of the equation. Most of your opponent will continue with knight to g1. But this simply allowed the move e5, and look at the space black is gaining in the center, and as I have shown here by the arrows, in which opening you get such a dominating center at just within the few moves of the opening stage. So that's why the correct move is to play h3, preserving the bishop, whereupon to conclude this video on a high note, I like to show you a grandmaster game where black simply crushed his high rank opponent in a style. First, he kickstart with c captures d4. Please note white cannot take back with the piece, as after e5 black get the wonderful center. So rightly so, in the game white plays e captures d4. But this simply allow this wonderful knight maneuvering, and time again in this line you are going to see knight to f5. Okay, in the game white continue with bishop to d3, trying to control the f5. Black says, nope sweetie, I'm going to come on f5 anyways. And the problem from the white side is he simply cannot move the bishop in the view of g4, knight to g1, and now simple chess, take on d4 with a healthy pawn advantage. So that is the reason why at this point white obliged to take on f5. But after bishop takes f5, the threat is queen to b6. So white conquered this with c3. But after this, I really like every move of the black. Just look at this, guys. First h4 hitting the bishop, bishop to h2. Now he played queen to d7, stopping any kingside castle as there is a sacrifice looming on h3. So white thought, no problem, I am going to go on the queen side with knight to d2. And after black castles, queen to e2 sets up the platform for the queen side castle. Okay, black says you are too slow and I will play g4, so that after pawn takes d4 and bishop takes d4, yes, you allow white to castle on the queen side, but after bishop to h6, every single black piece is on the optimum square. Well, would you believe the next move of the white, king to b1, turn out as a big time blunder? Yes, it doesn't look like, right? But see yourself. Queen to f5 check, king to h1, and now this wonderful move, bishop takes d2, decide the game. The point is, after rook captures d2 and the move h3, it doesn't matter how waver white plays, he is going to lose a piece. Well, he tried queen to d3, but the grandmaster see the sequence instantly, and I hope you had seen it as well. First, exchange the queen, then take on g2, and now rook is hanging, knight is hanging, bishop is hanging, every single thing is hanging. And the fact is, after rook moves, black chop on f3 and then chop on h2, which give him not only a clear piece advantage, but there is a monster pawn sitting on g2, and seeing all this, white simply resigned the game. That's it guys, I hope you enjoy and learn this wonderful tricky line against the Psuedo Trompowsky attack. I am sure after watching this video, you really want to try this in your own game. Well, best of luck for it. But before you go, please feel free to like, subscribe and comment on this video, and I will meet you soon in my next lecture. Bye and take care.